On October 18th of 2016, Freda Knowshisgun left Washington State on her way to Hardin, Montana. She never made it. Freda Knowshisgun does not get the same attention as many of these other folks. I made a video that's being downloaded right now. It says it'll take an hour and 20 minutes. So this is a good time to go back to old cases. Freda Knowshisgun is still missing. Maybe one of those bodies that they found is Freda Knowshisgun. But statistically, the number of Native American women who have disappeared just in the last decade, the chances of that being Freda Knowshisgun, if there are any of those bodies who are Native American women, it's not that good. You know, if there's 10 Native American women who disappeared, and you find 2 Native American women, say, well, you've got a good chance that one of those 2 bodies is Freda Knowshisgun. When you've got, what is it, 26,000, 28,000, something like that, Native American women missing from the United States just in the last 10 years, the chances of that being Freda Knowshisgun, not that great. Also, chances are pretty good that from Washington State to Montana, she would have not gone the Wyoming route. They might find Freda Knowshisgun in Washington State. They might find her in Idaho. They might find her in Montana. They might never find her. Freda Knowshisgun is not a pretty, blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl. She wasn't skinny. She was not all the things that the media makes a person important. Train. The media has taught us that only pretty white girls matter. Black people don't matter. Hispanic people don't matter. Immigrants don't matter. The only people that matter are pretty white girls. And it's disgusting. There's a woman I know named Mandy Singer, and she has been heavily involved in helping to find missing and murdered Indigenous women for about 2 years now. Now, she doesn't go out and spend a whole bunch of time trying to find these people. She doesn't go join the search parties. She doesn't do none of that. What she does is she posts up Native American after 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 Native American. I think she posted up at least 5 or 6 missing Native American girls yesterday. But she's not just posting up about the missing girls. She also posts up about missing boys. It's not just Native Americans. That's her primary cause. But if you go missing, and I really am glad that Mandy is the way that she is. You know, when Natalie Bollinger went missing, I needed help finding her. I needed people to go out and look for her. Natalie Bollinger needed to feel loved. She needed to know that she was loved. I loved her the right way. I loved her in the way that her father should have, but he didn't. I wanted her to be safe. And you know what? Native Americans are still human. They have the same emotions that we do. If somebody that a Native American loves ends up missing, I want you to think to yourself, I want you to think of your daughter going missing and they never find her body. I want you to think about your son going missing and they never find his body. I want you to think about your husband or your wife going missing and they never find the body. You're left hoping that maybe that person just decided to go, well, like people were telling me when Natalie disappeared. She probably just went out partying with her friends. She's probably up in the mountains. She'll come down and people will go, oh, well, but no. They found her with her brains blown out, Macintosh Dairy Farm. The reason that I remember the exact day that Freda Knowshisgun disappeared, I didn't find out about her until I was up in Hardin, Montana. And I believe that it was Lila Mountain Sheep who told me about her. It might not have been. It might have been John Nomi. It might have been Mary. I mean, it really could have been any of them. They all told me stories about people that they knew that were missing. Freda Knowshisgun disappeared on my birthday in 2016. Do you know where I was at on my birthday in 2016? I was with Natalie and Alicia Bollinger at Elliot's Coffee Grounds in Norfolk, Virginia, celebrating my birthday. The celebrations were cut short because Natalie Bollinger's mother, Rose, found Natalie's heroin. Natalie didn't get that heroin from me. I don't know who she got it from, but I know that I'm the one who took the punishment. I'm the one still punishment. There is no punishment great enough for what Rose did. There is no punishment great enough for what Ted Bollinger did. There is no punishment great enough for what Tim Beeson did. There is no punishment that is good enough. What those people did to that poor girl was inhumane. Nobody should ever have to go through that. Natalie was a pretty white girl, so a lot of people paid attention to it. A lot of people actually cared. They didn't brush it off or shrug it off or go, oh, well, no big thing. I've gone through a lot of traumatic stuff. I've also had to research a lot of traumatic stuff. In order to show the truth, I have to know the truth. In order to show the evidence, I have to have the evidence. I don't have all of it. With Freda Knowshisgun, her family has been waiting for years. Nothing. No evidence, nothing. What do they have to go on? Did they invest the time and effort to try to find Freda Knowshisgun the way Natalie Bollinger? Did they commit felonies like they did with me? Did they commit felonies so that they could look into some of her friends? Anybody that she might have known in Washington State or Hardin that might have wanted to do her harm? Did they do those things for Freda Knowshisgun? I severely doubt it. That situation with Selena Not Afraid. They didn't make one thousandth of the effort that they made to find Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito was a grown ass adult. How old was Selena Not Afraid? Selena Not Afraid was young. She was pretty. She wasn't white though, so people didn't care as much as they did about Natalie. They didn't care as much as they did about Gabby Petito. But there was a lot more search effort involved in that than normally there would have been. And I would like to believe that that has something to do with the fact that there were 14,000 views specifically because because Selena Not Afraid disappeared. Specifically because I made that video about missing women of Hardin, Montana 10 months earlier. 14,000 views in just 2 days. 14,000. That's a lot of fucking pressure. Not just the fact that this happened to Selena Not Afraid, but the fact that so many people saw it. So many people saw that they knew that this situation was going on before Selena Not Afraid was killed. So many people were aware that this was a problem in that area. They didn't have anywhere close to that kind of a search for any of the other Native Americans who were missing in that area. If you look at the news, well, how many views did the news get? One of them got over 1,000. Most of them got less than 500 views. And if you look at the other Native American women who disappeared from the area, including some of Selena Not Afraid's other relatives, they didn't get near that kind of attention. And none of these places got 14,000 views. After Selena Not Afraid disappeared, I did everything that I could to keep it up, keep it in people's faces. I know that most of the people that watch my channel hate me. And I used that to try to get the word out. Even if they're trying to blame me, at least they're getting the word out. Did people get the word out when Freda Knowshisgun disappeared? Did they get the word out